Coming up today, we're reviewing ChatGPT Atlas. Is it accessible?
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Honestly, that felt like one of those film reviews where you're trying not to explain the ending of Titanic to someone.
I know, yeah, that's right. We don't want to, no spoilers, not yet.
No, well, look, we're going to dive right into this topic because we did touch on it yesterday, of course, ChatGPT bringing out its own browser with AI built in. Lots of interesting reading on this, by the way, especially around security. People saying, don't jump into this. Don't allow this to take control of your computer.
Really?
Yeah, well, I suppose there's a point, right? If you're bringing an agent into your computer that can essentially click buttons and do things for you, if a hacker gets hold of that, that could be interesting. So look, the nerds, the people who want to beta test this stuff, they're going to be diving right in. But if you're an average consumer, sort of thinking, maybe just download this and try it, you might want to hold off. That was the message from some
alarmist
security people. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Conspiracy Theory over here. Listen, I want to bring in our guest today, who I'm so pleased to have with us on the show to talk about all this. Someone who I've been really keen to get on the show for a long time. And to be honest, it's really hard to pin down one topic to talk to this lady about because there's so many. Taylor Arndt is joining us from Techopolis. Now, what's your title over there, Taylor? It's Chief of Everything, right? Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Except the Chief Executive Officer. But yeah, I'm the Chief Accessibility and Operations Officer.
Wow. On our show.
That's a title. I want that title, Stephen Scott. Can I be chief something?
But hang on, doesn't that mean you need to run things and do things professionally and do them well?
No, forget it. No, okay, I'll just be other guy. I don't mind that.
You just be side guy. Side guy. I'll pretend to be main guy, but it doesn't really work like that either. There's a mainer guy somewhere else.
Thanks for making the time to join us today, Taylor. It's very nice of you.
Yeah, I always love to talk tech and love to talk AI and all of the above.
Well, you're in the right place-ish. I mean, we do occasionally talk tech around here. And this ChatGPT browser, look, let's just jump straight in. How accessible is this?
It is, I don't know, maybe a 1 out of 10. It's pretty epically terrible for screen reader users, and I've definitely seen better, and I've also seen worse.
Oh, okay. All right.
Worse than 1 out of 10? What are we talking here? How inaccessible can something be?
Well, 1 out of 10 means on the first screen, I see unlabeled buttons, and I also see a background image that should be decorative. It says Project Aura, whatever logo. And it also has where if I try to type, it won't even have any typing echo, even though that's on, and it won't even type half of the time because VoiceOver is not even focused in the text field. That's just numerous amount of issues.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we jump into that, Stephen, what is this for? Can you Taylor, what is the point of this? What is an AI browser even for?
Are you asking Taylor what a browser is for?
An AI browser, Stephen Scott.
Oh, no, don't you start your tone with me, Shaun
Okay,
Preece.
well, I am the chief question asker.
Okay,
so
we'll give you
sorry,
that.
Taylor. What's an AI browser for?
So an AI browser, an AI browser helps to, automate your tasks. It can write emails, right? So it can actually go through like your Gmail. It can summarize things. It can fill out forms. It can help you shop for things. It's like the search that everybody's been talking about, but it's kind of all in your browser, and it's kind of all in, a central place where I can ask about different, like shop on Instacart or shop for apartment or do whatever, but it's all agentic and it's powered by some kind of agent. So instead of going to the address bar, which you still have, it just asks ChatGPT or asks Perplexity or asks whatever browser you're using.
Okay, and this is based on Chromium, I believe. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, it's based on Chromium, but they've made some huge adaptations and they've gotten rid of some features that have me a little puzzled, and it's not fully featured as much as I say it is.
Okay, so 1 out of 10 for accessibility, not fully featured. We should definitely hold off on installing this straight away then. I'm trying to think of the positive here.
I don't really know that I have any. I mean, there's another browser like it. It's called Perplexity Comet, and it's a lot better for accessibility. Now, the only thing is, you Windows users cannot install this because it's not available for Windows just yet. It's only available for Mac.
Discrimination. Now, I'm assuming that's to do with the M1, well, I should say the Apple Silicon and the AI abilities of that. Is this point to the AI being local on these browsers?
Oh, no, that would actually be a dream. Actually, It is not local. It is more cloud-based than ever. And it is because that Mac is, in most instances, well, easier to develop for. And it's also a lot more flexible. And keep in mind that the ChatGPT is embedded in the browser as well. So, yeah, it's definitely not local by any means.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, because I was just thinking for privacy concerns, right? And I'm assuming... So the big thing for AI, for me, would be the ability, and it's the only reason I can think to have AI in the browser, would be the ability to take action. So to press a button that I can't press for accessibility reasons, no matter what that may be, or whatever. It's the agentic action that I'm really interested in. And this is something that is possible with this, if it was accessible, with the Atlas browser, right? And the Comet one as well from Perplexity. Has that got agentic features?
Perplexity Comet, it has agentic features. So for an example, I don't know what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to edit the Squarespace site for Techopolis, and it almost works. So if you know anything about Squarespace, it's not the most accessible platform in the world, but it said editing creator, editing whatever, and it almost did it. But there was just one visual error. Otherwise, I would have made a successful change with Perplexity.
I'm just listening to you talk about this, and it's so disheartening. Unsurprising, perhaps. I mean,
Really? I'm totally surprised.
I'm not surprised by it, because something coming out that's new from a company like OpenAI, which, doesn't really have a record yet when it comes to accessibility.
No.
If this was Apple that brought this out, I'd be very disappointed. I'd be very angry at this point. Doesn't hugely surprise me. And that surprise, or lack of surprise, perhaps, is kind of shows where we are, doesn't it, when it comes to all these new products that come out. I mean, we know that down the line, OpenAI are going to bring out new hardware at some point. How accessible will that be? Well, I think we know the answer today.
Oh, I don't even know.
1 out of 10.
Worse than this.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you why I'm surprised, because this is meant to be the cutting edge of technology, right? AI. It's meant to be the next big thing. And yet we're dealing with, I read your article, Taylor, as well. Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Things as basic as unlabeled buttons. I mean, if you can't even get labeling right for your buttons, if you've got something called small, medium, image.jpg or whatever it may be called for your buttons, what hope is there for accessibility when you're trying to showcase this cutting edge AI technology, yet you cannot even label buttons? I despair. Honestly, I think this is such a bad look.
It is. And the fact is, even more basic than buttons, you can't even hide your background images to be decorative.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it keeps telling you what the background image is as you're navigating around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every screen, and probably about 5 or 6 times a screen, it does this project aura background image, project aura background image. Because it used to be called Project Aura.
Yeah, see, the other thing I'm guessing that won't be particularly accessible, although none of it seems to be particularly accessible anyway, but one thing that made me stand up a little bit and take note was when they talked about the idea of the chat window being full screen and then sort of minimizing off to the side to allow the website to show up. And I'm thinking, how is a screen reader dealing with all that?
It's not. The other thing that really caught me by surprise, and I forgot to mention in the intro, is that on the onboarding screen it says, what does it say, highlight the ChatGPT logo to fill out this form. And I'm thinking, I wrote that down in my blog post notes, and I'm like, how is this going to be accessible? Turns out I wasn't even able to do this, so filling out a form would be absolutely impossible, and I can even do that in Perplexity Comet. So yeah, I don't even know. This is not useful or usable at all, even for the best voiceover users.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
Atlas
bad.
is terrible. There, I'm just making the decision now. Awful, absolutely. OpenAI should be ashamed of yourselves. There, okay, I've said it for you, Stephen.
All right, let's do this then. Let's look at the potential not of this particular browser at the moment. Okay, let's put that to the side. But you have been playing a lot with Perplexity, their Comet browser. And I have heard better reports about that. I see more blind people talking about it, put it that way. So what's your view of that in terms of the potential, and what have you been able to do with it?
Yeah, so I did a YouTube video, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, no, well, like 2 months back, where I reviewed Perplexity Comet. It was a live stream. And I found a bug. I kid you not. So I found a bug on, I can't remember what it was. I think it was some unlabeled buttons. Oh, yeah, for the start screen when it has all the planets as unlabeled buttons. I decided, why don't I submit feedback? I didn't think I'd hear anything back, and I didn't think it would really do anything. But lo and behold, 10 minutes later, I get a reply from support says, hey, we're working on that. We actually really care about accessibility. And I do think it's been fixed, although I haven't been able to try it per se yet because that's on the setup screen. I haven't had to reinstall the browser. But the fact is that they're really, really wanting to make it accessible. But my fear is that because of OpenAI, I don't want them to take over where Perplexity Comet is just not getting the traction it needs to be able to keep up the great features that it's working on.
Is this a case of, is this transitional? Is there any life expectancy to AI browsers? Isn't this all going to be taken over by the big boys anyway? I mean, like, Copilot has now got the screen sharing option, and, built into Edge is, well, kind of half-hearted Copilot.
Not in Texas.
Not in, okay.
Maybe explain to our audience why that is, Taylor.
Yeah, so in Texas and I believe Illinois, if you use the Copilot Vision in Edge, you cannot. So from what I'm able to understand, I don't know the exact law, right? I'm not a lawyer, but basically there's a law that says you cannot do like the Copilot Vision. Same thing with, like, for example, Live AI, because I'm in Texas and I've never been able to get Live AI on my Metas to work. I think it's impacted by that same law that's in both Texas and Illinois.
Interesting.
But the AI browsers, are they not affected by that for like Comet or Atlas?
I don't think so. I think it has to do something with screen sharing. But again, I wonder, why is Gemini Live not affected by it? Because I can go to aistudio.google.com and use Gemini Live.
Well, I'm assuming there's some screen sharing going on in both Comet and Atlas, because, you can ask it, what are the, give me a summary of the images. Can you on the website and things like that?
Yeah, but it's all like text based.
But it must be able to see your screen, and that screenshot must be sent off to the cloud to be processed to give you a description.
And I think it has more to do with like voice and cloud. Again, I don't know the whole spiel on that, but I just know that, like, I can't use Copilot Vision. I have to get a VPN.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the geo-locking of AI is an issue. Here in the UK, we don't have access to the Meta Live AI either, and I know a lot of people are really upset about that. But I think this is going to become more of an issue.
So talking a little bit more about the browsers, because I'm really keen to understand more about how I would use this every day. And I kind of, in my head, think about things like, and I mentioned this on the show yesterday, things like wanting to book rail travel, or book a flight, or book a hotel, and the challenges we can all face trying to use those websites. Some of these price comparison websites you might use. They can be quite challenging. And being able to use something like this, using agentic AI or whatever you want to call it, I guess that's the right phrase, being able to do that would be good, right? It's good for us. It's good for accessibility because we skip over all the hurdles, right?
Yeah. And so things that I've used Perplexity Comet for are, again, editing the Squarespace website. I've also tried to post and schedule posts on X. I've tried to use different inaccessible platforms. I'm trying to remember now. But there were different things like, I think I tried to book some bus tickets, and I think I also used it to upload materials to our old LMS that we don't really use anymore. But that was because that wasn't accessible. So we got rid of it. But yeah, I've used Perplexity Comet for all sorts of different websites throughout my day working and doing different tasks.
And how successful was it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So it was pretty successful. I would say about 60% of the time. I say that because when I tried Perplexity, Comet, and like just recently it came out of beta. So since then it's kind of gotten a lot better, but I would say about 60% of the time I've had success or when it's able to do it completely. And then probably about another 20% of the time it almost does it, but it can't finish the task for whatever reason. Then the rest of the time it just doesn't do it for whatever reason.
Right. So it's still, we're not in a place where we can just rely on this yet. We're way off. We're way off on that.
Generic AI we can't rely on really anyway.
Well, that's true.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I often thought when AI was being touted, I remember when ChatGPT opened up, or OpenAI, I should say, opened up ChatGPT for the first time, and we all got hands-on with it. I remember saying to someone, if it gets to the point where we can control our computers this way, what's actually going to happen is companies aren't going to care about accessibility anymore because they won't need to, right? Because if we can just skip all the inaccessible stuff and actually just get straight to the bit we want, then if the website's inaccessible, does it really matter? Now, of course, we have a problem in that the browser that gets you to the AI from, in this case, OpenAI, isn't accessible. So, we have a slight issue there. The door is unavailable to us at the moment. But what's your take on this? Do you think that we'll get to a point where actually companies don't need to worry about their websites being accessible? And is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think we're always going to need to worry about that. Because I work in accessibility, right? I've been doing accessibility for over 6 years. And I've seen that, like, before AI, of course, we had a lot of accessibility problems. Accessibility has definitely evolved in the year of AI, right? I've talked about Notebook LM. We'll talk about that later and, like, all my blog posts and things. However, everything is definitely going to need to be accessible because what if people don't have access to that browser? What if those AIs make you have to pay? Or what if these other things? Everything must still be accessible. There's really no exceptions. And what about all the laws that would have to change? How would that work if you look at the government sector?
Yeah, and there's also the internet connectivity as well. Not everyone does have an internet connection until we get to local on-device AI.
Well,
that's a whole other,
Shaun has said on this show many times, much to other people's upset, that AI is terrible. In fact, I'm just going to say it, Shaun. That's what you said. You said AI is terrible, and
yes, I did.
You've given your justifications and your reasons for that, and I think we all understand it. But here's the thing: you've got a solution to this potentially, Taylor, which I have heard about. I've certainly tried in its early days when it first came out. Google brought out this feature called, or this app, I guess, or whatever it is, called Notebook LM. Could this solve some of the issues that potentially come up with hallucinations on services like ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other ones? Is this potentially what it can do? And maybe start off by telling us a little bit about Notebook LM and what it actually is.
Yeah, so Notebook LM is kind of like a digital notebook, and you add sources. Think about like YouTube videos or think about like documents. It will not accept Microsoft Word files. Obviously, think about Google and Microsoft.
Yes.
I know. I don't like that.
Okay, fair enough. We're back to those days, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to those days. But it also can work with like plain text files or, your Google Drive and Docs and things. And you can add these sources to a notebook. Now, these notebooks are interactive. So, for example, if you put in a YouTube video of like double tap episodes, you can ask it questions like, why does Shaun not like AI? Right? Or, based on whatever, what does Taylor think about on-device AI? Whatever. Different questions, and it can take from those sources and it can answer based on what it knows. So it does not use any other material except for the material you provide it. It's actually called grounding, where it only uses those sources. And the cool thing about this is that there's many different applications. Now, there's features that come along with this. So you can generate like AI-driven podcasts where it has like human-sounding voices, and it even will let you talk to the hosts and have like an interactive discussion. And you can talk about whatever you guys want, right? So there's definitely a lot of potential. There's also these new video mode, which is really cool, where it can generate like an explainer video based on the sources or based on whatever you want to talk about. Really helpful in school. And that's where I got into my coding education post I posted about yesterday on my Substack, because I was able to prompt it. You can actually prompt the video mode and also the audio and all the other modes, and you could tell it how you want it to behave. So I basically said, you are an educator with over 20 years of experience. You teach people how to code in Swift, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing the 100 Days of Swift UI course. I'm on day 3 at the time. That was like 2 days ago. And I want to learn all these concepts. I put in the sources because I already had like 14 sources in that notebook and I didn't want to draw from everything. So I put I want to cover the Swift for beginners for arrays and variables and something else. I can't remember exactly now. And then I said, for code reading, though, this is where it gets really important. I say, I want you to read code in the following format without exceptions. And I say, for example, if we have a variable, I'd say var, right? And then I have you'd say space. And then I want you to say name equals, right? And then have spaces. And then I'd say double quotes, right? So, Taylor. But then I said, if you can't say the punctuation equals, or you can't say the punctuation, the quotes, you will spell them aloud. And then I had a couple other things, like if there's tables, if there's other different visual indicators, you need to describe them because all of your learners are blind and they cannot see the screen and all of this stuff. My whole prompt is in the blog post. But the thing that I'm going at here is that you can, if there's visual content that you want to learn about, you can put it in this notebook LM. While it won't fully audio describe it, it will be able to describe the code in a way that will make sense for you being a blind learner, and it can explain things that you may not be able to catch up on. Because, audio description is not on every single YouTube video as much as I'd like it to be. So Notebook LM is very interactive. You can chat with it, and then you can use it no matter what kind of Google account. If you have a basic Google account, a business Google account, or any other thereof.
Wow. I mean, that is incredible. And, I know my early days of trying it, again, that word potential, which seems to have been reached a little bit on this one, actually, allowed me to, upload some manuals or whatever it was and try. Because my thinking was at the time I was learning NVDA. And I thought, okay, if I can find all these resources, I can find all these manuals, which I'm never going to read, Taylor, because I'm not a nerd sitting there listening to books all day. Slow TV? Are you kidding me? So, I want it given to me in very simple, basic language. Treat me like I am an idiot, because I am. And, tell me the answer to this question. How do I turn off the screen curtain or turn on the screen curtain in NVDA? The classic question we always come back to. But, that's exactly what I want the answer to. And I want it to surface it from the information provided rather than going off to the internet and giving me what is often a hallucination, and a very confident hallucination. And that's the problem that Shaun keeps coming back to.
It sure is.
Well, look, Stephen was throwing me under the bus because I didn't say AI is terrible.
You did. I put it in the headline.
No, it's unreliable. And the reason it's unreliable is because the data set is terrible, which is exactly why Notebook LLM is so exciting, because you're setting the resources that it's looking through. You're not poisoning that well with a load of garbage that is just sucked off the internet, right? So, I think Notebook LM is really exciting. I did struggle a little bit with trying to navigate around it when I did try it, but I haven't tried it in a while. So is the accessibility of that site okay now? And is there an app specifically, or is it just a website?
There's an app. It's not the most accessible. I'm trying to work with Google to make everything more accessible. So on the website, it's pretty accessible. I think there's a couple unlabeled buttons, but the thing that could really be improved is there's a lack of headings. But I really want to help make it more accessible because it's really, really good.
Again, inaccessible, unlabeled buttons. It blows my mind. What are they doing?
I know.
And lack of headings.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just especially from Google, actually. It's a bit like what I said earlier about Apple. Kind of upsets me when Google do that too. I remember when they brought out the AI button. Remember when they announced this big thing about bringing the AI button to the Google homepage? And then I think we had Carrie Morales on at the time. And she said, yeah, I've just gone to it. It's not labeled. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Come on, the basics here, right? But this does sound pretty cool. This sounds actually the most useful tool at the moment because, like you're saying, you're giving it that grounding, right? You're saying, look, I only want you to deal with these sources. Now, you talk about education, and that's a really good point. You know, how many people put off further education because they think, there's no way I could do that now. No way at all. I mean, I think about grade 2 Braille learning. I could possibly create some kind of tutor out of this, some kind of way of training me through. That would be cool, right?
And you can also share notebooks. So we are doing a Apple app development class at Techopolis we use Google Classroom. And we made a notebook for all of the class content. Now, I will warn people, if you have a business account and you try to share with personal accounts, it does not work. So the reason because it is saying, you can't share with this person outside of your organization. So I probably got like 80 to 100 requesting access to this notebook request. I'm like, oh boy, this is not going to go well. So what you need to do at this point, right, as of today, again, this could all change next week, so I underscore this. You need to create it from your personal email and share to other personal emails and make it public.
Right. Okay. If you want to share.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of wondering here, now you've just said that, can you just build me what I want and just share it to me? If I just send you an email and say, hey Taylor, can I just get this? Could you
just
create
say
me?
No, Taylor.
Could you
just
create me the whole world?
He's not a child. He can do it himself.
I don't want to do it myself. I'm scared. It's the big internet. It's scary.
I want to join the shared app development course, though. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so Techopolis Online Solutions is doing a Apple app development course, and I am the teaching assistant. So we've got Michael Doyce, who is the main teacher, and it is on every Thursday. So we're in week 4, week 5, but you could still catch up. Everything is recordings, and everything is actually streamed on YouTube. Not on my channel, but on the Techopolis channel. But you can be able to learn all about Apple app development. So we start with the basics of Xcode. So you're going to need either a Mac or an iPad. We start also then going into Swift, which is where we're at now. So you learn the Swift language, and then you go into the Swift UI stuff. So you learn about all the Swift UI stuff you're going to need. And then eventually we get to where you can learn to distribute your apps. So, the whole how do I make it in test flight? How do I actually share it in the App Store? And of course, at that point, you'll probably need that developer account, that $99 developer account. And we'll talk about that. And then that's kind of it's going to be 26 weeks long at this point. And you'll even get to learn how to make AI apps with the Apple's built-in models, all of this stuff. So it's all free. And you can join it through our Google Classroom. We've got links all over the internet, and we could probably put something in the YouTube description, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In show notes.
That is amazing. And all of this, of course, can be done by a blind person and can be done
yes, it can.
accessibly. Yeah.
And I also have office hours, and all of those are streamed on my YouTube channel. So we have the main class content on the Techopolis channel, and then my office hours are on my YouTube channel.
Okay. Tell us a bit more about Techopolis. For those who don't know about it, tell us what it is, what it does.
Yeah, so Techopolis Online Solutions is a company, and we're based out of Texas. It's me and Michael Doyce, and we have some others as well that help us. And we are primarily an app development shop. So we really prefer Apple apps. So we make iOS apps and Mac and all of the other Apple platforms. And we make our apps fully accessible as well. And we also implement AI into different apps with the new AI models that just came out from Apple. And we, again, make our apps fully accessible. We also have other services like our classes. And we do accessibility consulting as well for companies. But our main bread and butter is our Apple app development services.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And you say, the blind people can do it all. except for, say, the name of it, Techopolis.
Oh, stop it.
Techopolis.
I'm not great with my words. Techopolis?
Taylor, ask him to say ergonomics, and you'll be laughing all the way to midnight.
Ergonomics. Listen, actually, if someone wants to look that up, can you just spell that, Taylor?
Yeah, so TECH, like tech, OPOLIS.
Oh, easy. Techopolis. Perfect.
And Techopolis was actually named because Michael, our founder, likes tech, but he also likes cities, metropolis, so tech and opolis.
Makes total sense, okay. Yeah. Listen, I know you're doing lots of stuff around the web, and you obviously had your Substack as well. How are you finding that for accessibility? I was always thinking about doing a Substack, but was never sure of... You know that way, it's always that thing in blind world, isn't it, where you're kind of terrified to put your foot into something because you think, is this going to work? Is this just going to be another pain in the neck trying to navigate to create content for this particular platform? How are you finding Substack?
I'm finding it pretty good. I would say it's actually better than Medium. I got off of Medium. I tried it for a few months, and I didn't really, now that this really mattered, I didn't really make a whole lot of money, and it was very hard to publish. So Substack actually worked pretty well. I can go on there. I can see my stats. The app needs a little bit of work, and I go to the dashboard and I hit create post, and I can put post. Now, the thing that is interesting is putting the subscribe buttons on the post. So basically it tells people, hey, subscribe to Taylor Substack, can be a little bit difficult. So what I do is I hit publish, and it's like, do you want to add these buttons? I say yes, because adding them myself is very difficult. So I just have the Substack add them for me.
Oh, that's a helpful workaround, right? Okay. Yeah,
it's all about the workarounds. That's how we live.
That's exactly
how we roll.
So tell people how they can find you online, and obviously Techopolis and everything else you're doing. This, I mean, you've mentioned the coding course, of course, which sounds wonderful for app development, but tell people how they can find out more, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in this.
Yeah, so you can find me all over the web. So I'm on Mastodon at Taylor Arndt at Techopolis.social. And I am on YouTube at Taylor Arndt, so TaylorArndt. And I'm also on my Substack, taylorarndt.substack.com. And I'm also on other platforms as well. I'm trying to even think. Oh, yeah. And then Facebook, just Taylor Arndt. And then LinkedIn as well, just Taylor Arndt. And then Techopolis, you can find us online at Techopolis, TECHOPOLIS, online.com. And that is our website. And then the course, we are using Google Classroom. It's fully free and very accessible.
Hey,
and
wonderful.
Yeah, and it's very awesome because every time we upload something, you can get notification through email and a push on your phone if you have the Classroom mobile app.
Brilliant. Taylor, I really appreciate you coming on. Come back soon, because I love when the nerds come on. I like when the nerd people are here, because I feel I learn something.
Well, I will come back anytime you want me to come back.
Perfect. Thank you.
You see, and she didn't say because, stop calling me nerd people, because I think she likes it.
Okay. All right. Do you like it, Taylor?
I'm called that all the time, so it's fine.
There you go, see? There you go.
Did say she liked it.
Taylor, thanks so much for coming
Taylor.
on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, I like having Taylor on the show. She knows her onions. She's Taylor Onions.
Taylor Onions. I know. We're getting too many onions around here. I'm starting to feel insecure.
Although I am thinking, wouldn't it be cool? Because she mentioned there that she likes programming in Swift, and her name's Taylor. I think we could get some traction on social media, by just saying, hey, we've got Taylor Swifting over here.
Ah, look at that. Double tap marketing.
I think
Best in the world.
I'm going to bring that applause in for that, just for that.
We're available, Taylor. Just
for marketing.
PR.
Letter openings, anything at all.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't mention the LinkedIn Reference, Stephen.
No, I didn't want to be ungallant over here.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Well done.
Well, look, stick around.
Okay. That's right.
This is Double Tap. Double Tap thanks Numa Solutions for supporting this podcast and for their continued commitment to digital accessibility. Numa Solutions is behind some of the most powerful accessibility tools out there, all designed by blind developers who understand the real-world challenge of inaccessible tech. Whether it's Remote Incident Manager or RIM, which lets you give or receive fully accessible remote tech support across PC and Mac, or Scribe, which turns inaccessible meeting documents into screen reader-friendly files instantly, Numa is solving real problems with smart, usable tools. They're not just building products, they're building independence. And now, to celebrate our new partnership, Numa is offering something special to the Double Tap community. 10 free community support subscriptions for Remote Incident Manager and 10 subscriptions to Scribe for Documents. It's your chance to experience accessible tech support and real-time document remediation. Subscribe to our newsletter at doubletaponair.com/subscribe to enter for a chance to win.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback at doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed by that whole story of ChatGPT Atlas not being accessible. I honestly thought it was going to be better than that. I was hoping that Taylor was going to come on and say, you know what, it's got a few bugs, maybe an unlabeled button here or there, but I've managed to work around it. But no, it's pretty much unusable at the moment for blind people and not on Windows. So, maybe that's a good thing in a way, because then you'd have all the Windows people upset. What are you talking about? I'm upset.
Yeah, but you don't sound it. Where's
myself.
the Stephen Scott trademark rant? This is disgusting. This is disgraceful.
I don't have it in me today. I don't have it in me to shout and scream about this, because I feel that's all I ever do is scream and shout about this. And does anything change?
Oh, no. There we go. Ah, that was good. Well done.
We go. You got it out of me in the end. Right, come on, let's get some emails. Come on.
We get email. We get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Here's your mail today.
Doosh. Let's do it. I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah, I love our emails.
Yeah. So see what you think of this one. So Vaughn's up first. With some comment, shall we say, on my feelings and our feelings, but probably my feelings about the iPhones, the new iPhones. I'd talked obviously on the show about this whole subject of, if you're going to buy an iPhone, you're looking at the pros, why bother, right? When it comes to the camera, it's the same camera across all the 17s anyway, so why would you bother with a Pro when it comes to the camera? Battery life, really, are we ever that far away from a charger, realistically? So anyway, these are my general comments. Here's Vaughn, who wants to chime in on that.
Dawn and Stephen, this is Vaughn calling from Australia. I've heard your commentary on the iPhones and I've listened to it with some interest, but I think respectfully you've both missed the point in this area. The real question that's coming up, in my view, is what can an iPhone's camera do to improve the lot of blind people? Now, costs and all those things are really important. I accept that. But we have to accept as well that there are some blind people who are professionals who have high careers where they're really testing the technology to the limits. And I'd love you to get on someone from InVision, someone from Be My Eyes, and I'm meaning the engineering type people, and someone from IRA, and ask them what they anticipate the improvement will be to their services and the use of those services by blind people when they use the iPhone 17 Pro Max, for example. Because that really, in my mind, is the central question for a blind person when considering buying the new iPhone. What is it going to do and what can it do to my quality of life? And the way I look at it, and I accept that I'm in a lucky position where I have a good job and the cost is not a factor. But where I look at it is if I can get a 10% more accurate AI, if I can get a 10% speed increase in AI, if my phone is going to be better equipped for live streaming as I'm moving around a railway station where I've never been independently, and it's going to focus in on signs from a greater distance and read them to me when I'm using InVision. If it's going to do all those things, the price tag on the iPhone is a small price to pay in that context. So I'd really like you to think about bringing someone on from InVision, someone from Be My Eyes, and someone from IRA to consider those issues.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for the message. Shaun Preece, you're wrong on all these issues.
Whoa. Okay.
Here
I
comes
don't
the
think
bus.
I am. No, I honestly, I don't mind. I'll throw myself under that bus. I honestly don't think I am. But you are right. We should speak to, someone more technical when it comes to it, engineer. But even talking to let's say an IRA agent, right? What options do they have on their dashboard that would make a difference? Now, arguably, you could say an improvement in camera per generation, maybe even a higher resolution. At what point does that become that 10% extra that you're looking for? Arguably, you could say in low light situations that these cameras may improve.
Okay.
So I will give you that one. But when it comes to things like a better image giving you better AI processing speed, no, honestly, I don't think it is there. But even though I'm saying that, as you rightfully said, you want the opinion of someone more technical. So we will try and make that happen. But honestly, I think the resolution and the standard of the sensors at the moment. Now, usually when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about OCR. For small print and things like that, I think that the cameras, even 5, 6, 7 years ago, are perfectly more than adequate for OCR. Now we're talking about AI, and also we're talking about video assistance through those services, Be My Eyes and things, where field of view is more important. How wide of an angle can they see? How much information can they see at once without us having to scan around? So there are other considerations there. But now I will concede that it would be great to talk to an engineer or even just someone who uses the back-end software of these services.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the other side of the coin, because I think there's two parts to this, right? There's the camera, and then there's AI itself and the capability of the phone. Now, that's all driven by the processor. Now, arguably, if you buy the Pro, you're going to get a faster processor on there compared to the 17. I just wonder what those differences are in these individual areas that you would notice such a marked difference that would make the value that you're talking about. And I just, if I'm honest, the level we're at today, I mean, I need to really think, and please someone tell me what that use case is, where you're going to get that 10% improvement and that you would even notice the 10% improvement. I mean, what we're talking about here is a matter of a couple of seconds when it comes to getting a result from your phone versus, one versus the other. I don't know if we're at a level. I mean, obviously there's a difference between the 17 and the Pro, right? I'm not saying there's not. I'm not saying it's the same phone. There are differences in there. But I think the differences for the use cases we're talking about as blind people would be minimal in terms of any kind of useful function. I think what the pros are for filmmaking, or I mean, arguably not just for that, but, that's what the cameras are there for, right? They're there for filmmaking. It's not making your Be My Eyes call any better than it would be on any other device. Yes, compared to perhaps an iPhone 12, you're going to notice a difference perhaps, but again, that will be minimal. I've seen people taking pictures from their iPhone 12 mini and comparing it to a 17 Pro Max and saying, can you tell the difference? And these are sighted people, right? So, I mean, when you're at that level, what does it matter?
Well, also, I suppose you need to consider how the expected lifespan of something. If you're upgrading your phone every year, then is it going to matter? But if you're thinking of keeping your phone for 3 to 5 years, then, AI, especially Apple Intelligence in the case of the iPhones, is going to improve anyway. So maybe you will see on-device improvements, and that will come down to performance. I will say I recently spoke to an ex-Apple engineer, and he specifically brought up he got the iPhone 17 Pro because of the cameras and the extra RAM. Now, the extra RAM, you get 12 gig of RAM in the Pros, I believe. The extra RAM, he said, I took that into consideration because of local AI. The more RAM you've got, the faster the performance, the more you can do. Okay. So he's looking to the future with it. With the cameras, you're talking about focal length, how close you need to be. You can't take macro pictures, for example, with anything but the Pro, I believe. So you need to be a certain distance away from a document or whatever. So there's those considerations as well. So it's not totally...
Yeah, but the one thing I'm hearing is, here's what we could potentially do with this. Or here's what the openings could, having this extra RAM would allow us to do. But I'm not hearing anyone say, well, it has made a difference and here's the evidence of it. I've compared this task with a 17 versus a 17 Pro Max, and here's the evidence of the difference. I don't hear that. I just hear, buy Pro Max because it's better and it's got a better battery and it's got better cameras and it's faster and it's got more RAM. And it's like, but what do you need it for? I mean, on that basis, when you're buying a new laptop, guys, are you all going out and buying the top end of everything? Are you buying the Mac Studio? Look, I bought the Mac Studio. It's got 96 gig of RAM in it. It's got a terabyte SSD. It's got the fastest M3 Max processor. I mean, it's an M3 Max, but that is actually the fastest processor they can put into one of these right now. Do I get Safari not responding? Every day. Does it hang? Yes. Does applications crash? When I was learning to use Reaper, crashed 3 times on me. So I kind of wonder, okay, so what am I paying for? When I hear someone using a MacBook Air and saying, yeah, it does all that fine, I think, what's going on here? Is it that the speeds that we're at with this technology are such that it really, for an average consumer, doesn't matter anymore? I can understand it if you're building apps, like, Taylor there is building applications and doing all these kind of things. She'd probably love to be sitting here with one of these Mac Studios. She may well be. And she would need this for that kind of task. I have completely over-egged this pudding. So I'm actually doing the very thing which other people are doing and suggesting people do, which is buy the top end. And I don't know if we need it. That's my point. And the danger here, and again, this is not to criticize you, Vaughn, at all. You've got the money to go and spend. You want to go buy it? Good for you. Go do that. But let's just remember, in our community, specifically our community, we're talking to a group of people who don't have that kind of money on average, more than on average, actually. And so when the general consensus is, you should go out and buy this one thing because this is the best, buy the best, because this is what you need for this. This is what you need for OCR. You need it for better IRA calls. You need it for better this, that, and the next thing. I'm a bit wary of that advice. I'm wary of it because I don't think it's true, and I don't think people should be sinking all that money into a device, which frankly, you could buy a 16E today and you would have a perfectly fine experience. I cannot tell the difference between a Pro Max phone, and I've had my share of them. I cannot tell the difference in a Pro Max, apart from the size, compared to even an SE, honestly, and a 16E now.
It'd be different if it was a case of you don't buy this model because you will not be able to use Beat My Eyes or IRA or some...
Okay, you don't get LiDAR in the 17s versus the Pros. Okay, so there's one. That's a tangible difference right there. Obviously, battery life is a consideration. Some people absolutely want that battery life. But ask yourself, do you really need it? The iPhone Air is apparently not selling so well because people are thinking, well, the battery's not so great, so I'm not going to go down that road. Honestly, I've had this phone now for a couple of weeks, and I've been on trips with it. I have never had a battery issue. I've not gone a day that I've had to plug it in. One day. Not at all. It has had to plug in. I have a little MagSafe stand on my desk here. I put it on there. That's not a charger. And sometimes I think, maybe I should change that to be a charger. I thought that when I first got this. I thought maybe I'll change that to be a charger. I don't need it. It behaves fine. I spent £100 on a MagSafe battery pack. I've never used it. Don't need it yet.
Yeah. Take that back, Steve.
But I mean, that's the point, right? So it's like, well, hang on. So the suggestion that we all need to have the latest because of the batteries and really important, and it gives you 40 hours. Are you really away from a charger that long? I mean, I just find that very hard to believe. We're going off on a bit
of a tangent here.
No, we're not. No, absolutely not.
We're edging onto a Stephen Scott rant. I mean, the Vaughn was very specific about the cameras.
Okay, well, cameras then. Again, the same camera exists on the 17 lineup across the board. The only difference is you're getting those additional cameras on those higher-end devices. That's
telescopic, focal length, wide lens.
And a question that Vaughn's asking, which is a good question to ask, is does that matter when it comes to all these other services?
Yeah.
I don't think it does, but we are going to reach out.
Think.
Well, I don't think it does. There you go. Does that feel better now?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm just repeating what you said. We think it doesn't make a difference. I'm pretty sure it doesn't make a difference, but we don't know
I don't think it does. But you're right. We don't know for sure. We are going to ask those questions of Ira, and we'll ask those questions of the Be My Eyes people and see if we can get any kind of indication of it. I think it's probably more likely Ira will have some control than Be My Eyes might, just because of how the technology works.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
but
of course. They can turn the torch on and things like that.
That's
Flashlight,
right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Flashlight, yeah. So funny when you go through your phone. I always remember I was with an American friend of mine, and I was using my computer, and he said, "What did your computer just say there?" I'd gone to the trash can, and in the UK it says bin, and he found this hilarious. Oh, it called it a bin, and I'm like, "Well, it is a bin," and he's like, "Yeah, but no, it's the trash can." And I'm like,
"Oh, well,
yeah, but it's not."
Oh, differences. They're great.
Love it. Should we do one more?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, who have we got here? We've got Marco. Marco, I haven't heard from Marco for a while.
Hey, Stephen. Hey, Shaun. This is Marco, the iMac man from Germany. And
iMac man.
It's your fault. It's all your fault, I must say. I just bought my first pair of glasses in my life ever. Or rather, I pre-ordered it because the really great interview on Monday's show, the 6th of October, about the Ali Solos glasses really convinced me to try it. And I didn't want to go the Meta Ray-Ban route. So I pre-ordered a pair. And I actually had to get sighted assistance, not for the ordering process, but for choosing which pair of glasses I should get, because I am born blind. So I've never seen my face in a mirror. So I cannot imagine which of the frame sizes or colors would fit me. So I actually asked my partner to help me with that, because she's sighted and she gave me the right advice. And it's going to be a big frame, and it's going to be the crystal gray, dark crystal gray or something like that. Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah,
we'll go
so
with it.
it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Thanks for a great show, and keep up the great banter and the great work you're doing. This is all very amazing, and I'm really enjoying the podcast whenever I hear it. Which is several times a week, not every day, but most times. So thank you, and bye-bye.
Not every day?
Yeah, what are you doing on a Sunday, Stephen Scott? Nothing.
Yeah, get listening.
Thank you, Marco. And let us know how you get on with them. Definitely, we'd be very interested.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's funny, isn't it? There's a lot of blind people buying glasses for the first time. Because you're right. I mean, why would you if you're blind? You would think, well, what would I buy? I mean, unless I want to buy sunglasses, which some people might, but over the years, probably most blind people have thought, why would I ever bother?
Someone asked me this morning, can I just ask, why are you wearing sunglasses?
That's
it's
interesting.
Dark. It was 6:30 in the morning. It was dark.
Time of day. So you nearly fed into Negative Julian's thinking there, you see. Maybe that's what it is, Negative Julian. Maybe you've been wearing them in the morning and everyone's confused.
You see? I just said, because it's cool, and I'm cool.
And then you walked into a wall.
And then, I fell over the dog and got lost in the hedge and started crying. But aside from that, I look cool.
Well, you did it all looking great. Did you wear a leather jacket at the same time? And
yes,
go,
I did, sir.
Or something
Thank
like
you.
that. Yeah, good man. That's the way to do it. No, this is interesting. I also have to go back to the fact that Marco is the iMac man, who defended my beliefs when it came to the iMac, by the way.
Ridiculous.
No, it's a brilliant idea. All in one computer, single cable to the wall.
Yeah, massive monitor, which is useless to us.
21-inch monitor. It's not that big.
Well, you're buying yourself a 21-inch computer. What you do? Get yourself a Mac Mini or a Geekom PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, all wonderful, of course. But, if you need a monitor, and again, who knows the situation here? Marcus said his partner is sighted. His wife is sighted. So,
all right.
she'll
That's
only
a
use
different
it as well.
situation.
Yeah,
okay,
it's just
all right.
not,
Well, I'm
not
talking
all,
specifically.
Listen, inclusive, that's me. Not exclusive. Not shut out the sighted. That's not right, Shaun Preece.
Damn you. You always get me in the end. I'm sorry. I'm very, very
should be a
sorry.
politician spinner, shouldn't I? One of those spin people. Listen, we're almost out of time, but listen, thank you so much for all the feedback. It means a lot to us that we get it, and we have got plenty more of it to get into. We'll do that on tomorrow's show. Lots of your feedback there, and of course into next week as well. I just want to give you a quick reminder of the newsletter. We'll do this again tomorrow, but just a reminder of the newsletter, which if you're heading for the newsletter or you get the newsletter through your email, which I guess you can because that's the only way you would get it, then you can find in there a couple of interesting little nuggets for you, little nibbles you can enjoy.
Oh, I love a nugget.
Yeah, I know. So do I.
Yeah,
bit of salt on there. Yeah. But anyway, thank goodness it's the end of the show. I can go and eat now. But yes, basically, what was I saying? Oh yeah, newsletter. So on there, you can find out about some of the upcoming reviews that we're going to be doing. And of course, we want your questions when it comes to these reviews. So, check out the newsletter. I'm not going to tell you. You have to go read it for yourself. But we are going to be putting the details of the products we'll be reviewing in the newsletter so you can send your questions in to feedback@doubletaponair.com. You can also check out some of our recent media appearances. Oh yes. Yeah. Do you remember that one at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, I remember it well. Yes, I nearly forgot, but I was there.
We can share all that in the newsletter. So you got to go and check it out. If you don't go, you'll never know.
But how, Stephen Scott, how can people get this amazing newsletter full of nuggets?
Thank you. Well, no nuggets, I will say, just for legal reasons and to avoid the loss of my nuggets. doubletaponair.com/subscribe is the place to go. Don't worry, everything's fine. doubletaponair.com/subscribe is where you can get the newsletter. Go there, fill out the form, give us your name and your email address, and we'll send you the newsletter for free.
Perfect. It's amazing. Please do.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Double Tap Extra podcast as well. Great conversation coming up this weekend on AI companionship. You want to check that out on... on the Double Tap Extra feed. Robin Christopherson joining us for that. We'll look forward to it. Thanks to Taylor Arndt for joining us. Thank you, Shaun Preece. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Double Tap Solo.
Hey!
Hey!